exploration, a deep dive into the invisible reality of things. I love the invisible, what you can't see with your eyes. You know, when you love someone, you connect with something that's spiritual, something that's what I call a quality. Qualities to me are the things you can't see, but you can express, like joy. I love the quality of joy. You know, I like to express, I'm married to this incredible guy, but he expresses qualities differently than I do. So when I express joy, I'll come in and I'll go, Craig, I just saw this wonderful bird on the fence and it talked to me. It was so great. And Craig expresses joy in his own beautiful way, and he'll say, very nice, very good. Yes, I like that idea. So joy is a spiritual quality everybody on this side of the room has an abundance of, and on this side, joy is one of the notes of the music of God. So is tenderness. I saw lots of it as you came in. All of these incredible qualities in God, I realized I was looking for in things outside. When I picked up the drug, what was I looking for? I was looking for some kind of a spiritual quality. I had to write music. People told me if I did this drug, I'd have original ideas. So wouldn't it be dumb not to try it if I didn't know better, and I didn't know better? What was I looking for when I did drugs? What spiritual quality? What was I trying to feel that was good? Help me out here. Freedom. Completeness. Originality. Purpose. New ideas. Newness. Freshness. So what I began to do was realize that this musical, divine exploration, really looking in the wrong places, but looking for good things, was a legitimate search, but looking in the wrong place. So I didn't beat myself up. Once I heard through Jesus' works and through reading Science and Health, which helped me understand how the Bible worked, I began to think deeply, and I love the idea that we can think. We need to think these things through. I began to think about all the things on the outside that I was doing, and what was I trying to get? What quality of love was I looking for? What note in the music of life was I trying to hear clearly by all the stuff I was getting into? And I started a list. You helped me with some of it. I wrote down in originality when I was looking in drugs. I wrote down affection and tenderness when I was looking in sleeping around. Dad walked down in the middle of the night when I was 15, and I thought he took my spiritual qualities with him. I thought he took my affection because there was some tenderness there. And I thought he took my hope. I thought people had love inside, and I needed to go into them somehow and get it out. And I suddenly began to realize, through the life of Jesus and the example Mrs. Eddy taught me, that love is something that we tune into, and it belongs to everybody. And the loneliness that I felt when Dad left began to leave. That sense of lack that I felt when Grandpa and Grandma passed began to leave, because I began to translate all these thoughts into, all these wishes and hopes that I looked for outside into ideas. Started with the drugs, translated them into thoughts, and I gave you a sheet. The sheet is some of my favorite stuff that I used when I was exploring what is love. The first thing says, under Science and Health, metaphysics resolves things into thoughts and exchanges the objects of sense for the ideas of soul. So if there's something outside you think you need, if you think you're missing somebody or something, or you're not original, or you're not healthy, or you're feeling lonely, think about the qualities that would be there if that bad feeling was gone. Kind of like if you turned on the radio and you wanted to hear the beautiful music and you heard, you wouldn't get scared, it's static. You know static isn't real, it has no power to touch the music. And what would you do? Well, you might turn off the radio, which would be kind of boring, or you might tune in. And I began to tune into love by thinking of all the qualities I was looking for in stuff. And I translated all those things that I was looking for good in into ideas. Made my huge list of ideas, and one by one, thoughts only come one at a time. one thought at a time, I began to tune into love, and I began to find myself free of the addictions, free of the habits that said it's all out there, and I began to feel complete. And in that completeness, love began to speak to me, and I started feeling the music that moved me in directions that spoke of love, that not only loved myself more, but loved others. Now let's go to the next.